Yeah, you guys got to see a really good college basketball game tonight. Two really good basketball teams. Tremendous amount of appreciation for our guys' fight and commitment and how good a team we just knocked off. I think they've got two of the best players in the country. Braden's a rebound away from a triple-double. Trey's a load. So ended the game the right way, on a nice run, but it was so many different guys tonight. Will Riley made the defensive play of the night with a little stab poke away that we've been working on, and it was a second half that got us downhill. We got in the bonus. I think at the under 12 we were in the bonus, and then that opens up our threes. And we were much better second half shooting the basketball. Kylan Boswell is a big reason for that, and that guy stepping up. Trey White was tremendous again, just a rebound short of the double-double, and KJ, clever, throws it off the back and smokes the layup, doesn't let it bother him, and then turns around and kind of what we've seen all year from him, hits a dagger three. So good basketball game. Got a tremendous amount of respect for Matt, and good season.
Brad, what's different the last three games, and how's it feel to have some momentum heading into the postseason?
It's like, and I'm going to sound redundant and repetitive, but those guys in that locker room need all the credit. One, we're healthy, or healthier. Kerry Booth missed 2 days with the flu. KJ's been, Kerry hadn't even been in practice, showed up today, shoot around, and then Kasparas, got sick before the Michigan game and wasn't feeling very well, and has a terrible cough. But we're healthy. We're able to practice. We were able to make some changes. You saw that tonight with some stab ball screen stuff. Some double opportunities in the post. So those were changes that needed to be. But I think we've got to make sure that Kylan Boswell, Trey White get a ton of credit as veterans have stepped their game up, which has then pulled a bunch of freshmen. We've talked all year about Kasparas and what his game is, and it's now become evident that Will Riley's a really good player. Tommy's back and healthy, but Kylan and Trey have been huge. Ben was huge tonight. So it's just a matter of some guys stepping up, and after the New York game, they didn't want to pitch a tent and say we're done. They decided to fight, and that's who we are. It's what we're about, being an everyday guy.
Brad, tense moments, crunch time, close games seem to be synonymous with March basketball. What do you think coming through in this one can mean for you guys going forward with that, with KJ's shot, all of that?
Yeah, we haven't had one probably since Missouri. Maybe I'm wrong. We lost an overtime game at Northwestern. We lost an overtime game in Nebraska. And then we've had a lot of blowouts in the league. I think six or so 20-point wins, and that's really unusual. But it's great, and especially falling down 4 or 5, in the last few minutes, and living in the moment. We talk about that a lot in this program: is living in the moment, not letting a bad play or a bad shot or a turnover. Guy stepped up tonight, and we got stops when we needed to.
Obviously, freshmen grow at different rates. What are a couple specific areas where Will has grown, say, from early January, mid-January to where he is today?
Well, defensively, a lot. I think if early in the year, that was an area where Will was being challenged. His confidence is through the roof. I think there was a game that was very singular at Michigan State. He had a half that was pretty special, and that's where we actually saw him just kind of blossom and blow up. I take some of the non-league games out that, were lesser opponents, but and then he got sick and missed a game and missed practices. So it's just been a process with him, but his confidence is high. We're putting him in a lot of actions. Back in the starting lineup, he gives us 3 primary handlers and all year long, he's run the point guard on our second unit until we put him in the starting lineup. So he's very comfortable knowing all the actions, and I think he's just really confident. And we all know he's a gifted scorer.
But I'm curious, when you have a February like that, what does this team in particular, what did you see them kind of take and grow from, and what can carry over from that into this part of the season?
I don't know if there's a specific thing. I think it's a tribute to their character. It's their fight. We played this schedule. I'm always going to go back to the non-league schedule we've played. I think we're going to, maybe us and Auburn lead the country in quad 1 and 2 games. There's a reason we do that, so we don't trick ourselves into thinking we're something that we're not. So I just again, high character guys love basketball, love to work, and now it's, they've seen a lot of scenarios through the course of 31 games, and so they're just finding a little confidence.
You talked about KJ hitting the dagger 3, and all season long we've seen his leadership, floor general, all of that. But how much of being a closer, like being cold-blooded to do that, how much of that can be coached and taught, and how much of that is just kind of like innate?
It's innate. I mean, you've got to know, you've got to want those moments. We've had some really good ones in this program in Io, Trip Frazier, Andres Feliz. We've had some guys who could close out some games and not fear, not fear those moments, not fear getting fouled. Even there was a play that, like, it was a turnover and he was just being aggressive, and I can't wait to see that one on film, but he's not afraid of that moment. He is not afraid to fail. And he's got enough confidence that he knows he's going to make those. And I'd love to take credit as a coach, but he came here with that.
I guess maybe not having a lot of close games in the last couple months, what put this team in position to be able to close one out when they had to tonight?
I'm going to go back to Kyle and Trey. It was them in timeouts talking. It was handling situations. It was not putting your head down. It was encouragement. It was togetherness. And all those things sound really cliche, but it's the truth. We talked at the under 4-minute media timeout. We played a 4-minute scrimmage yesterday. So it's just like yesterday. We have to close out, in this 4-minute scrimmage, we have to, stop, score, stop, and do what we do. And so it was, maybe some of that's sinking in.
Coach Matt Painter was just in here, and he said that you're the kind of team that can blitz teams when you're making threes. When you're not making threes, you got to find another way. And has it been kind of a journey for you, learning how to win different ways? And do you feel like you're in a good place heading into the postseason?
Sure, because we're starting to make shots. And I think that we've always been an elite 2-point team. I think the one thing that we also have to understand is when we're really good, for our last game, we offensive rebound those misses. And I thought Purdue did a great job tonight of really trying to keep us off the glass. But again, in the second half, we found that rhythm, and you keep shooting them and know that percentages are going to work their way your way, and we've got to do that. But we're still going to keep hounding them about the glass. We got to have more help than Trey, and if Perez is able to come back, he'll obviously help in that scenario. So,
Brad, hi. You had that foul call on KJ that led to Randy Richardson and you having a tense moment that looked like it kind of went right up to the line. Looked like he told you to control your players. That's what
don't assume that. That is absolutely not the truth.
Okay.
That is absolutely don't start doing that, Steve. That's a bunch of crap.
So I didn't see that right?
No, you absolutely did not. He was mad at me.
Okay.
That was at me for barking at him because he said he missed it. So make no more of that.
You could have.
That's enough. I'm done with that. There's nothing more to that.
Well, I want to know how close
How close
things
was it?
were at that moment it could have just broken bad with if you get teed up or if
I'm not-
guys are
I-
frustrated
I
to
never-
come back from that.
I had a mic on, and then you can go pull the mic, and don't try to make something that wasn't there. There was not one thing there. I didn't say one thing. I didn't swear at it. There was nothing. He was having a conversation with me. I listened. I walked away.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just asking how close it was at that time.
It wasn't even close because
Give it too much to come back.
the one thing I'm always going to do is keep my wit in a game and not lose, not get a tick.
Brad, you mentioned Kylan, but being a leadership role. But the last 3 games, he's been really clicking offensively as a scoring and distributing and still obviously defending. What's been the change for him?
Tommy's a big reason for that. Look where he's getting his points. He's downhill. He's getting to the foul line. He's an elite cutter. Kylan is an incredible screener. And we have what we call screen below, stay below. He finds those. Guys know to get in there, and then he's so strong and powerful. He has an ability to be effective at the rim.
Brad over here. Trey White on the ball, was that something that you feel like flipped the switch for you guys defensively, especially in that, Smith, Kaufman, Wren ball screen action, or do you feel like it was something else that flipped it for you guys defensively?
No, I think the thing you have to do with, I consider Braden, and I consider them very much like the old Utah Jazz team. John Stockton, Karl Malone, Jeff Hornacek. And you pick your poison. But you can't let him get comfortable. And so size on him. Trey made a great defensive play at the end of the half. You can't just have Kylan in that. We mixed up our coverages from drop to a quick hedge. We had a blitz and package in that we didn't go to. But it was part of it. It was part of the plan coming in.
Troy spoke on the versatility of your offense. I guess, what does that do for you? How much easier does it make your job? And when's the last time in your coaching career you had a team that can make 4 or 5 guys score 20?
I had 6 guys in double figures, I think, at SFA when I was there. But different teams, different things, and tonight Will got going, and they do a great job because, to be quite honest, I don't run a ton to Trey, and he just finds it. And we find him. I thought Tommy had a couple easy opportunities in the first half that he missed, but that's our team. Is the balance. We're a very good passing team. We're unselfish. That was one of the big keys to our win tonight. Was the turnovers. I think Braden leads the league in turnovers or in steals. So we're getting more comfortable there, and that's again just nice to be able to practice.
Right, I know Trey was sick, but 2 games he didn't play. He was out of the rotation. Take me through what you witnessed from him, how he's been able to make himself such a big part of the team, and what that means for you guys right now.
Yeah, just being able to practice, just being able to have you miss a few days in practice, and you're fighting for just a little bit of energy, and that's hard to do. And we went to Rutgers, and he's planning on playing, and then he gets sick before the game, and so it's just a combination of he feels yucky, he's a vital part, and then we got back, his energy was impressive. He knew how important, we had conversations about how important he is to our team, and he's just taken that and run.
Coach Tommy had 3 fouls and he had 4 fouls. Both times Ben logged some important minutes at the 5. What did you see from him, and how big was that for you guys?
He was spectacular tonight, just as he was at that spot in the Michigan game. And Ben's fight, man, Ben's lost himself on the defensive side in rebounding basketball. And then the other thing he's done is by losing himself, he's jumped up and made shots. And we weren't overly excited going in, I'll be honest, about him having to guard Kaufman and Wren for long periods of time. But man, he was terrific, and we knew, again, we thought we might have to give him some help with some doubles, but he did a nice job.
But I'm curious, what was your approach when you guys were kind of fighting it a little bit with a younger team and a newer team, and how did you guide them through that versus maybe like last year's team was so experienced? Like, what was the difference, or maybe that you think it would have been this year?
It's night and day. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, last year it was this team. This is more helping and guiding and explaining. They need. Last year was a lot of asking. What do you like? What do you feel? Going to Marcus Domask. What do you think? What do you? I mean, they know. Coleman's coming over and they've got input, and so it's very different with a veteran team. I never worried. We had 110 practices last year. We had 2 bad ones, both of them before Penn State, and that we were mature. That team handled things, and this team, it's just helping them grow in our culture and helping them be everyday guys and do their job, and so it's very different.
I asked Trey the same question, but the way you guys have responded these last 3 games after kind of a stretch of adversity, do you think that this is the most confident the team has been all year, all season?
Yes. Yes. I think we had to get punched. And be honest with you, we got smacked pretty good, So they bounced back, and I think when you can get up off the mat, and that's who we want everybody in our program to be, is a guy that gets up off the mat when you get knocked out.
Scott, what's your finish?
I guess with Trey, especially in the last 3 or 4 games, how has he maximized this sort of low usage, super high production role that he's filled?
Really good teammates, offensive glass, transition. He's gotten to the foul line. I've said this since early in the year. He's one of the best cutters that we've had, that I've coached. He's very instinctive that way, and I think everybody's wanted to sleep because he was off to a horrible start in shooting the basketball. But he's a really good shooter, so everybody finds it, and he's puts himself in that position.
Kind of an offshoot of this question. Self-scout for a second. What is your confidence level in this team, and where does it rank compared to where it's been? You could give us a little stock market of where it's been this year.
It grew a lot after tonight. Really, to be very honest, it grew a lot tonight. Just simply the confidence to win a close game when things are really, really hard against an unbelievably good opponent, and a team that has the best offense in the league, to get stops when you need them. So, and to find enough moxie when you're down 4 or 5 and to make plays, man, my confidence is really high. And I wouldn't have maybe said that. Monday.
Has it been an equal moxie game this whole year? There hasn't necessarily been a game like.
We felt pretty good against. I felt great against Missouri. I felt really good. We were on the right path. We were doing a lot of the right things, and then we have Tommy 3 practices in 5 weeks, and then you just can't get better. And with a young team, when you can't get better, that's stunning your growth, and to an extent you don't know if you can really bounce back. This team deserves all the credit for that.